Welcome back to Warriors News Fan Report, where every dribble, every dunk, and every jaw-dropping moment fuels our passion for Golden State. I'm thrilled to have you here today because we've got breaking news that could shake up the Warriors, rotation, and test their championship mettle like never before. But before we dive into the heart of this story, let me ask you, what would you do if your team's rising superstar was suddenly sidelined right before a critical road matchup? Keep that question in mind, because today's narrative is anything but ordinary. Tonight, the Warriors gear up for a tough showdown on the road, and all eyes are on a single name, one that's been lighting up highlight reels and drawing headlines since the season tipped off. Yet, tonight, that name has vanished from the active roster. That's right, our breakout forward, the one whose explosive athleticism and relentless hustle have made opponents tremble, is officially out for Saturday's clash at the Wells Fargo Center. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could this happen? What does it mean for the Dubs' 5-game win streak? Well, the details are equal parts revealing and mysterious. According to the latest injury report, our coach has confirmed that Kuminga, yes, Jonathan Kuminga, will not suit up against the 76ers due to a lingering ankle sprain that first flared back in January. But here's where things get interesting. Whispers from inside the locker room suggest that this isn't merely a setback. It could be a pivotal moment in Kuminga's young career and, by extension, the Warriors' title chase. Let's rewind to January. Kuminga suffered that ankle sprain in a heated battle, and immediately fans feared we'd lose him for weeks, if not months. Yet, he returned sooner than expected, showing flashes of the dynamic two-way play that convinced the front office to bank on his potential. Ever since, he's averaged solid minutes, hovering around 20 points per 36, and has become a secret weapon in clutch moments. So why, after a mid-season resurgence, is he still on ice? Is it possible that the coaching staff is being ultra-cautious? Or could there be more to this story? Perhaps a nagging discomfort that limits his lateral quickness and vertical explosion. Some insiders believe that Kuminga's absence might be strategic, a way to preserve his body for a deep playoff run rather than risk aggravating the injury on hostile courts. Could this indicate that the Warriors are already casting their eyes toward June, managing workloads with surgical precision? Or is the front office quietly exploring trade scenarios that hinge on other teams' evaluations of Kuminga's recovery timeline? Fans are wondering if this could be the beginning of a roster shakeup, one that doesn't involve Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson, but rather our promising young forward. Speaking of Curry, he's been nothing short of sensational lately. In last night's home triumph, he poured in 56 points, a performance that, in any other universe, would overshadow every other story. Yet this week, all anyone wants to discuss is Kuminga's status. Steph's brilliance has carried the Warriors through tough stretches, but can one man handle the defensive grind of playing extended minutes against Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey? The Sixers boast length and physicality, and without Kuminga's defensive versatility, Golden State may struggle to contain Philly's slashing guards. Let's talk numbers. Over the past 5 games, the Warriors have held opponents to an average of 105 points per contest, while scoring 115 themselves. That defensive rating of 103.4 ranks third in the league over that span. Kuminga's individual defensive rating when on the court sits at a stellar 97.1. Underscoring his value as a rim protector and help defender. His absence could bump that team defensive rating closer to 108 or 109, which might be the difference between victory and defeat in a hostile road environment. Offensively, Kuminga's usage rate has climbed to 19.2% since the All-Star break, reflecting increased trust from Coach Kerr in late-game scenarios. He's the kind of player who can dial up a mid-range jumper one possession and turn the corner for a thunderous dunk the next. Now imagine a playoff-intensity crowd at the Wells Fargo Center. Gucci Mane's Icy blaring through the loudspeakers, and our young star watching from the sideline instead of taking flight. How does that shift the Warriors' offensive rhythm? Is it possible that someone like Dante DiVincenzo or perhaps rookie Brandon Podziemski steps into that role and sparks a new dynamic? Could this be the moment we see an unexpected hero rise to fill the void? Journalists covering the team have speculated wildly. Some columnists argue that Kuminga's timeline points to a possible return as early as Monday against the Hornets in Charlotte, a mere 2 nights post-Sixers. If that's true, are we witnessing the epitome of load management, designed to maximize his impact when it matters most? Or are we setting him up to come back too soon, risking a relapse that could sideline him well into the playoffs? Remember, this is the same forward who battled through nagging injuries in his rookie campaign, only to emerge stronger and more resilient. But there's a difference between one freak accident and the grinding stress of an NBA season. Fans on social media have been a whirlwind of emotions. Some are cautiously optimistic, pointing out that Kuminga's recent rehab videos, shared by team insiders, show him moving with near-full mobility, conducting intense agility drills, and even engaging in limited scrimmage. Others remain skeptical, claiming that any ankle issue should warrant more than a week's incubation before stepping back onto the hardwood. Could this silence from the front office be a tactic to keep opponents guessing? If Philadelphia's coaching staff isn't sure who will guard Paul Reed or Tyrese Maxey, they might hesitate to design specific plays, and that uncertainty could tilt the advantage back toward the Warriors. Let's not overlook the psychological angle. Kuminga's teammates have been rallying around him. In a recent locker room interview, Draymond Green praised Kuminga as the glue that holds our second unit together, hinting at the intangibles he brings beyond pure point production. What message does it send to Steph, Klay, and Draymond if Kuminga is watching important games from the bench? Will it fire them up to play with extra ferocity, or could it undermine the bench's confidence, forcing Kerr to stick with less experienced players when franchises like the Sixers thrive on exploiting every mismatch? And what about Jimmy Butler? He's listed as questionable with a back spasm, another tantalizing subplot. If Butler suits up, does Golden State shift its defensive schemes to contain him, thereby opening opportunities for Philly's shooters? Or, if Butler is ultimately ruled out, could the contest turn into a shootout between Curry and Embiid's supporting cast? The domino effect of injuries is unpredictable, and that's exactly why the narrative here is so gripping. At this point, we're left with more questions than answers. Could this forced rest for Kuminga be the masterstroke that keeps him fresh for April and May? Is it a red flag indicating a more serious concern? Or is it simply a calculated gamble to see if the Warriors can sustain their winning streak without one of their most dynamic contributors? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. The drama is building, and the stakes could not be higher. Next, we'll break down potential, lineup adjustments, explore which role players might seize this moment, and analyze how Golden State can maintain its rhythm on the offensive end. Remember, the night in Philly is shaping up to be a defining moment in this season's story. But before we reveal our full predictions and final verdict, let's keep the suspense alive. Because here at Warriors News Fan Report, we know that the thrill is in the unknown, and we're just getting started. But first, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report so you don't miss any breaking updates. All right, let's pick up right where we left off, with Jonathan Kuminga sidelined and the 76ers looming large on the horizon. Now, without Kuminga's explosive two-way play, Golden State's bench depth becomes the headline. Could Dante DiVincenzo finally seize this moment to step into the spotlight? In recent games, 3D has shown flashes, dropping timely threes, providing hounding defense, and even facilitating the second-unit offense. His increased confidence might just translate into the kind of spark the Warriors need tonight. Is it possible that DiVincenzo's expanded role forces opposing defenses to respect another perimeter threat, thereby opening up driving lanes for Steph and Klay? Fans are buzzing on social media, wondering if tonight could be his coming-out party. Then there's rookie Brandon Podziemski, whose playmaking and size have given Kerr something to think about. Some insiders believe that we could see Podziemski logging heavier minutes alongside Kevin Looney to try and compensate for Kuminga's absence on the glass. Looney has been more aggressive on the boards lately, carving out space for himself and snagging second-chance opportunities. Could this mean a shift toward a bigger, more physical lineup that aims to control the paint? If Golden State can dominate the rebound battle, they might neutralize Philadelphia's size advantage. Of course, the real plot twist could be Kevin Looney himself proving to be the unsung hero. Historically, Looney has stepped up when the Warriors needed him most. Think of his finals rebounding clinic in 2022. Tonight, he might be called upon to guard Embiid's partner in crime on the block, whether that's Paul Reed or Nick Batum. Can Looney handle that assignment without Kuminga's help-side rotation? Some analysts predict that Kerr will mix and match defensive coverages, perhaps deploying a zone or funneling drives toward Draymond Green's help defense. But that comes at a cost. Curry might find fewer open looks if the defense collapses. The D brings us to another intriguing subplot: Draymond Green's playmaking. With Kuminga out, Draymond's initiation from the high post could become even more critical. He's already averaging 7.3 assists per game, nearly equaling his career high. Could we see him orchestrate an even more creative offense tonight? Fans are speculating that Green might set more down screens for Curry and Thompson, then slip to the rim for easy buckets. Or maybe Kerr unleashes a point D lineup, with Draymond as the primary ball handler, Curry off the ball, and Thompson spacing the floor. The chess match between Kerr and Doc Rivers could hinge on these personnel tweaks. Let's pivot to Philadelphia's side for a moment. Without Kuminga, the Warriors will need to exploit mismatches, perhaps running more pick and roll with Curry. And a bigger screener like Looney or Draymond. Could this adjustment catch the 76ers off guard? Embiid's defensive limitations are well documented, and if Golden State can force him to chase off-ball actions, they might draw early foul trouble. Remember, Embiid played heavy minutes in his last matchup, and fatigue could become a factor late in the game. Could this be the blueprint for an upset on the road? Another name to watch is Chris Paul, who has seen intermittent court time this season. Rumors suggest he might reclaim a rotational spot if the bench needs veteran stability. Imagine CP3 coming in to run an end-of-quarter set. His clutch pedigree alone could shift the momentum. Some insiders believe Paul's inclusion could be decisive, turning close games into comfortable margins with his mid-range mastery and savvy decision-making. The Warriors' playbook might look very different tonight, and that unpredictability could be their trump card. But let's circle back to Kuminga's timeline. Remember, reports hint at a potential return as early as Monday against the Hornets. If that happens, it suggests this absence is purely precautionary, designed to ensure his long-term health rather than capitalize on short-term gains. Good. This careful approach signal that the front office is already thinking 2-3 steps ahead. After all, managing star health is what championship teams do. Yet there's always the flip side. What if Kuminga's ankle isn't as ready as the team claims? A premature return could land him back on the sideline at the worst possible moment, like the play-in tournament or the first round of the playoffs. Now, as the tip-off approaches and the arena lights flicker on, the atmosphere in Philly is electric. Sixers fans know they have a numerical advantage without Kuminga in the lineup. But will that confidence translate to dominance, or could the Warriors' adaptive offense and championship experience prevail? The stage is set for a tactical duel, one that could define the trajectory of this season. So here's my burning question to you. Do you believe Golden State can maintain its winning streak on the road without Kuminga tonight? Or is his absence going to be the tipping point that hands the Sixers their chance to showcase Eastern Conference supremacy? Personally, I think this is the ultimate test of the Warriors' next-man-up mentality, a chance for rising talents like DiVincenzo and Podziemski to cement their roles. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you Enjoyed today's deep dive? Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and keep believing in the strength of the Warriors faithful.